Everyone, Joe Waxman here, the astrologer, formerly known as Mediocre. He's still okay. What's up, everyone? Hope you're doing well. In this video, I want to look at how all the signs get along with all the other signs individually, right? And I'm not going to do this like comparing, I mean, how I'm going to do it is mostly through aspects and through rulership as well. And there's some interesting combinations here. Some are more interesting than others. We'll talk about those. But yeah, we're going to go through all the pairings, basic archetypal pairings of combinations, right? So you can have a general understanding of how to understand this for yourself, right? Guys, please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, book a reading with me, macrogoldmachine@yahoo.com, and leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think. Um, yeah, let's get into it. I'm going to use the transit screen as the transit chart as the demo to demonstrate all these. So we'll start with Aries, and we're going to go through all of them pretty quickly, relatively. But you'll get the point. So like first one is obviously I'm not going to do Aries and Aries, right? That's same. So it's not really worth talking about. But Aries and Taurus, okay. So that's a semi-sextile relationship. The semi-sextile relationships are not going to be very strong because although there's a certain similarity between the two, there's not a lot of polarity, and so the attraction is very weak. They just don't really understand each other. Aries is going to be in 12th from Taurus, so there's going to be a lot of misunderstanding, a lot of confusion. Aries has the forward vision to Taurus, but Taurus doesn't really understand Aries, doesn't really know where it's coming from, and is moving forward, right? Um, so yeah, not a great combination. I'm not going to go too into the details, just kind of keep it broad, big pictured, right? I'm sure you can fill in the blanks. But we have to go through all of them, and I don't want to take too long, but this is generally like how to see the combinations, right? Okay. Um, Aries Gemini. That's a really nice combination because of the sextile. Obviously both masculine signs and great fun together. Aries with all their, fiery inspirational energy, and Gemini with its quick wit. So much fun, right? I've had Aries friends in the past, some really good friends, some best friends. Aries and Gemini will always get into tons of fun and perhaps trouble together, but they'll have a great time and they'll be laughing the whole way, and they'll really spur each other on. Generally, fire and air, air fuels fire, right? So the fire burns brighter with air. So generally, that'll happen, right? Okay. Aries and Cancer. Now, the square relationships can work. They're a bit more challenging because they're both have similar qualities, right? Cardinal. Aries is in the superior square, so Aries takes the lead. Cancer takes the back seat. But they can work together. And I think that's the key word when we're talking about square relationships, is they can work together. They can butt heads for sure, right? Like any square. But if they both decide to act maturely and put their stubborn need to be first, um, you know, um, really Aries needs to go first. But if Cancer wants to challenge them on that, then it could be a butting head situation. But if they decide to work together, they can work together, right? It's not a great combination for like romance, or it could be, right? But it's going to be one of those things that's more challenging about it. But again, they can accomplish a lot together. They can work together and they can do stuff. So Aries Leo, the triangle relationships. I mean, perfect, right? Fire. Uh, great for romance, great for friendship, great for business partnership, great for everything, right? It's just a lot of fire, right? Maybe you need some other things in there to cool it off or calm it down or whatever, but fire, passion, intensity, right? Um, Getting stuff done, leadership, creativity, all that works really well. All right, then we get to Aries and Virgo. And this is in conjunct. It's not an easy relationship. Aries needs to take the lead again. It's in the dominant position over Virgo. Virgo needs to submit to Aries energetically, right? Virgo might want to fight Aries, but and they can fight, right? Virgo is a fighting sign or a sixth house fighting combination, fighting archetype, the inconjunct. But in general, it's going to play the subservient role and allow Aries to take the lead, right? But Virgo can take the backup, can work hard and be diligent and support their relationship willingly from a slightly submissive position. That's just the way it goes, and we'll see this with all the signs that they have their combinations that work that way. Next, we come to the opposition with Libra. And this is a pretty good combination, right? If you look at the theme of Monday, you'd say, wow, this is Saturnian, it's opposition, it's so Saturnian. Libra is now Saturnine. No, it's not. It's still Libra, and it's still ruled by Venus. Interestingly, Saturn is exalted in Libra, but it's not the main ruler. Venus is. So the main, if you want to know, the main nature of the opposition is Venus, Libra. It's not Saturn. Right? Like, which is not like, I mean, relationships. Are you just sitting there being Saturnian with each other? Or are you like being, romantic and kissing and hugging? I mean, that's what a marriage is, right? A marriage is based on that. If you're sitting across from somebody on a table, are you just being Saturnine, fighting, arguing, being cold with each other? Maybe, but that's not the main thing. That's not the main relationship. If you're sitting across from somebody at a table, ideally, and most of the time, you're going to be talking to them in some sort of nice, harmonious, peaceful way. Maybe it's your friend, maybe it's your girlfriend, boyfriend, maybe it's a business partner, right? Those are the oppositional relationships. This whole idea of oppositions being Saturnian is just so abstract and like lacking any grounding in reality. It's like amazing that people buy into this. Like utterly fucking amazing that people think the opposition is Saturnian. Like I'm just dumbfounded by that. Like it's just unbelievable. Have you never been opposed to someone else in an opposition, right? When two people come together kissing, that's an opposition. It's not just automatically like you're sitting opposed. It's not automatically a negative thing. It's crazy. Libra gets its whole nature from being opposite Aries. That's its whole nature. It doesn't have any other nature than that. There is nothing else besides that. Its whole thing is being opposite from Aries. That's where it gets its whole like, let's come together, sign contracts, be like married and business and handshakes and market and peace and equanimity, equality, right? All that stuff. That's Libra, right? Another interesting combination, which will, because we have to do it from both sides, this is Aries to Libra, but Libra to Aries, is that Libra is the seventh sign, but seventh from the seventh is Aries. So it's a particularly good opposition, right? Aries is very self-focused, right? Aries is about individuality and me first. I need to win. I'm full of fire and vim and vigor, and we're gonna get shit started. Libra is highly complementary to Aries because Libra is very passive, peaceful, relationship oriented. So Libra, will greatly enhance Aries' individuality and make it more harmonious, right? Because it's also seventh from the seventh, right? If Aries doesn't want to be alone forever, Libra is a great complement to their fiery individuality. Okay. And this is important because what we're talking about really comes down to like the basic archetypes. Like, where do the basic archetypes get their nature from? It's not some old, magician pulled it from a hat and be like, okay, Virgo gets this quality. Okay, Libra gets this quality. Okay, Scorpio gets this quality. It's not like that at all, right? Old astrologers did not create astrology. Astrology is created by the heavens. We just sort of, put it into form and gave it, body and shape. Anyway, Scorpio, Aries, Scorpio, both ruled by Mars. So they have that in common. So if you get a Scorpio and a Mars together, Scorpio and an Aries together, they're going to be very Martian, and Mars will be the outcome. Like if you want to know how the outcome, well, look at the Mars in relation to the two of them, right? But Scorpio is actually in the dominant position. So I know Aries always wants to win, always wants to go first, right? Scorpio will energetically stomp all over Aries because Scorpio is in the equal relationships +1, right? If you want to understand Scorpio, it's like, okay, we were equal, now Scorpio is above equal. It's that's the way Scorpio works. Scorpio is above equal. And if you carry that archetype out, it totally tracks, because Scorpio is all about being dominant, being controlling with others, right? Other people's money, shared resources, other people's psychology. Scorpio understands other people's brains. It knows how to get inside their brains and manipulate them from their own brains, right? From their own psychology, from their own psyche, right? It knows how to get inside. It is a great psychologist, Scorpio, because of that reason. It can see inside other people's minds. It can see inside, it knows people better than they know themselves, right? A really evolved Scorpio will know you better than you know yourself. And that's a very powerful and dangerous position to be in. Dangerous for the person who is opposed to Scorpio, because if a Scorpio knows you better than you, they can be the narcissist, they can manipulate the crap out of you, they can do whatever they want, right? They can control you. That's Scorpio's nature. That's Scorpio's power, right? And so they both, Mars, Aries and Scorpio both have Mars on their side, but the Scorpio has that psychology, which Aries does not have, right? Aries is just all like, all energy. It's like, it's like an angry dog or something like that. Scorpio is planning and plotting and psychologizing and learning all your weaknesses, and just boom, one hit, you're dead. That's the way Scorpio rolls. I mean, ideally, it's not, I'm not talking about every anecdotal circumstance, but yeah, Scorpio energetically will stomp all over Aries. You put a Scorpio and an Aries together, their energy will show you. The Scorpio has dominant energy. All right, Aries, Sag. Now this is again the trine, and it's a fire trine. It's excellent. It's tons of energy. We get a lot of luck and adventure from this kind of trine. Higher studies, all the ninth house things, but just in general, really good. Tons of passionate, fiery energy. You can get very high-minded with Sag there, right? Elevated, but adventurous too. Like these two will go on epic adventures. Now Capricorn, Aries. Here we get the square. Capricorn's in the superior square to Aries. So Capricorn really has to take the lead in this one. Aries may not like it, but Capricorn is more the front, especially the mature side of things in this relationship. They're both cardinal, so they both have very strong leadership potential. But Capricorn has the greater overall leadership quality here, right? And so Capricorn leads the way. And interestingly enough, they both are the archetypal angles, main angles, right? Ascendant, MC. Of course, the MC can be in the 9th or 11th, but archetypally, this is the 10th house, is where the nature of the MC really comes from. So it's a very powerful combination for cardinal stuff. You put it to Capricorn and Aries together, they can start stuff. They can start it. They can get anything moving and rolling in the right direction, right? Creating big businesses or ventures or whatever together. They can butt heads, but if they decide to work together, they can work together really, really well and powerful. All right. Aquarius and Aries. Now, this is a sextile relationship, and similar to Gemini, although perhaps, let's see. I mean, I don't have any personal experience because I'm not, sun sign anyway. But yeah, I mean, it's going to be a great friendship. Great, they can do like groups and networks and partying and celebrating. A lot of passion, a lot of air. They'll just work really well together, right? And they'll inspire each other. Maybe, I don't know, like, I mean, Aquarius is really funny, and I think that's where this can get really interesting, is that Aquarius can be the funny, Aries can be the inspiration, right? And together they can be hilarious. Um as a duo, dynamic duo. Aquarius will be the absurdity, Aries will be the passion and the expression and instigation. Right. Pisces and Aries, difficult combination, again, semi-sextile, not really, no traction, right? They just don't care about each other, Aries and Pisces, right? And if somebody has like this combination somewhere on the chart and they're like, but I love my Aries or Pisces partner and I'm an Aries or Pisces, whatever. We have this combination. There are other factors at play that are keeping you together. It's not the Aries and the Pisces. That's not going to do it, right? They're semi-sextile. They're just like, they can't really, directionally. Pisces can see Aries. Aries is like, been there, done that with Pisces, doesn't care, can hear it, but it's like, quit annoying me. You're yapping in my ear or whatever. Something like that. Like, it's just not really dynamic, not very interesting. All right, let's move the dial forward. Taurus. Now we have Taurus and Gemini, and you might think this is a terrible combination. In some ways, they don't completely, miss each other, don't understand each other. Semi-sextile, no attraction. Um, Gemini doesn't really want to pay attention to Taurus, hears it, saying yes or no in the background or whatever, and is like, whatever, you're boring. But actually, there's some good to come out of this combination, because Gemini is the second from the second. Taurus is the second sign. Gemini occupies the Taurian house in the Taurus chart, right? If you want to, what I'm calling the Taurus chart is with Taurus on the ascendant, right? So Gemini's in the second. So there's some harmony here. There's some completion here, because I'll tell you why. Energetically, Taurus is in a very stuck phase. It's Earth. It's fixed Earth. And although Taurus has voice and beauty and sensuality and sensorial development, it doesn't have very evolved expression, right? If you have somebody who's like a Taurus stellium, they won't know how to communicate. They won't. They will retreat. They will isolate. Whenever anything goes wrong, they won't communicate. They will just sort of wait it out, and they can wait it out for a billion years, right? Taurus doesn't matter to Taurus. So like, if they can't say something, it's probably might never get said, right? Unless they have some good Gemini or other air qualities, or Mercury is well placed. But the Mercury, the Gemini really helps Taurus express itself and communicate, which is necessary. It's essential, because Taurus has that great voice, but unless they can use it well, what good is it, right? So Gemini really helps Taurus come out of their stuckness, and it helps it express itself, which it needs to do. So that's a good combination, in fact, for that reason, Gemini Taurus. Yeah, and again, we're drawing on the second and second from the second principle, and that's actually a Vedic Bhava, I think it's called, a Vedic ideology or concept, that there's something significant about. So if we do it from Aries, first is Aries, right? Aries needs Aries. It's unique because seventh from the seventh is Aries also. So Libra and Aries, great combination. But second from the second is Taurus and Gemini. All right, so Taurus and Cancer, we get the sextile, both feminine signs. Will work, really nicely together. They can be very sensorial, Venus, Moon combinations, right? Those are good. Moon exalts in Cancer and Taurus, right? So it's a really, really nice working combination. They can be very creative together, make a lot of beautiful sensorial things, arts. Cancer brings the emotionality, the heart, and Taurus brings the beauty, right? Taurus brings the aesthetics. So, really nice combination there. Taurus Leo. Now we're getting like super stubborn, fixed energy. Nobody wants to budge. Leo's proud. Taurus is just fixed and stubborn, doesn't like moving. But if they can learn to work together, they can make powerful leaders. Like fixed signs, all fixed signs do really well in leadership positions. I mean, Cardinal are the sort of go-to leadership orientation, but fixed signs are often in very strong leadership positions because they're so stable. They're reliable. You can count on them. They're not going anywhere. They're not changing. They are there. They're solid. It's done, right? Taurus is actually in the dominant position with Leo. You might not think that, but yeah, it is. And so Taurus will lead the way with Leo, but they can be also highly creative together. Taurus is the beauty and the aesthetics. Leo is the really heartfelt creativity, right? The lot of fiery passion from the heart, big, bold, bright colors, gestures, things like that. But yeah, Taurus is actually in the dominant position there. But yeah. All right. Taurus and Virgo. Both are signs trine one another, very practical together, grounded, solid thinking. Yeah, I mean, earthy. Yeah, they're gonna do all the earth things together and be very earthy together and logical, practical, grounded, solid. Yeah. It could be good for a lot of things, so many things, right? Virgo is very editorial. Taurus is very sensorial. So whatever they sort of want to put their energy towards, they can be very harmonious. All right. Now we get Taurus and Libra, both Venusian signs, where Libra is in the submissive position. Taurus leads again, right? But it's fairly harmonious, right? Libra doesn't even mind taking the back seat to Taurus because they're both Venusian. They have similar goals, similar aims. They're both ending up at Venus as the dispositor, and Libra is very passive in many ways. It can go both ways with Libra. Libra can play the leader, it's cardinal, but it's that relationship sign that really doesn't mind if somebody else is leading, right? They're very flexible, ambidextrous, easygoing, balanced nature, Libra. So yeah, Libra is fine in the service position to Taurus's lead, right? Next we get Scorpio, Taurus and Scorpio. Yeah, both Taurus is very slow and stubborn. Scorpio is very protective and takes a long time to open up. So pretty good combination because they're going to be very slow, right? You know, fixed water, fixed earth, right? They complement each other. They're both kind of like do or die types, right? Ride or die types, loyal to a fault, never wants to give up on the other. Will just be there to the end if they can find each other, but it'll take a long time, right? Again, Scorpio opens up slowly. Taurus is just slow to do anything, right? Don't push a Taurus. There's Fafo. They got horns. Don't forget about it. Right? All right. Taurus Sag. That's an interesting combination because if we're taking the archetypal relationship, Sagittarius dominates Taurus, right? So here's the thing. If there's a Taurus who's like stubborn, just like, you know, unmoving, which is pretty much Taurus's default state of being, get yourself a Sag. A Sag will be able to pick that lock. We'll be able to psychologize because eighth from Taurus. Will get inside Taurus's mind and manipulate Taurus to be able to move, right? It's a handy tool. Like this is powerful stuff here. Yeah, Sagittarius will be the most effective at getting to a Taurus to sort of get it to do what it wants, to manipulate it, to move it, to motivate it, to get it moving, right? Stubborn Taurus, impossible, unless you got a Sagittarius. Sagittarius is the key to moving Taurus. So yeah, they're going to have the psychology to penetrate Taurus's stubborn mind. But, you know, otherwise, not like the easiest or smoothest combination. There's some friction there. Taurus might not like that Sagittarius has the dominating energy over it. Okay. Taurus, Capricorn, again, the trine, very practical combination, earthy, you know, Capricorn has the superior trine and will lead the way, essentially. But it's very harmonious with the trine. It's, you know, it doesn't even feel like one person's leading the other. But there is, I guess, if you had to choose one, it would be the superior side, which is the, you know, the counterclockwise, the first one in the counterclockwise movement position. But yeah, they can build stuff, practical stuff, earthy stuff. Good for leadership with the Capricorn and the solid foundations of Taurus. So yeah. Aquarius, Taurus. Aquarius is in the dominant square over Taurus. So Aquarius has to lead Taurus, or energetically. And of course, these two are going to butt heads, right? They're going to, you know, if they decide they don't want to get along, they won't get along. They'll play out that square and just be totally fixed in their positions, neither one budging. You know, Aquarius can be equally as stubborn in Taurus in their ideology, right? In their thinking and in their belief systems and whatever they hold to be true, whatever crazy idea, you know, whether it's like aliens, we gotta, you know, be a certain way so that the aliens approve so we can go on their ship, whatever crazy ideas Aquarius is coming up with, they're going to be stubborn as hell about it. And Taurus will just be like, no, I'm sitting on my couch. No, just no, whatever, right? But if they decide to work together, again, they can do big things, right? Aquarius with the ideas, the big ideas, the abstract thinking, the brilliance, and the social awareness. Taurus with the stubborn, fixed, grounded, practical nature. They can achieve a lot. Good, strong, you know, solid leadership. Taurus, Pisces, sextile. Now these two also can be highly creative together, right? Pisces with its endless imagination, its expansive nature, and then it goes extremely well with Taurus, with Taurus's aesthetic nature, Taurus's relationship to beauty, Taurus's relationship to sensuality. They can do whatever creative field you put these two together, it's going to do great with. Also, Venus is exalted in Pisces, right? So that is, you know, an important thing to consider, right? Taurus's ruler, domicile ruler, is exalted, is the exaltation lord of Pisces. So that's another indication that these two get along really well. Yeah, we already did the Aries and Pisces, so let's move it forward. Aries and Taurus. Gemini. Gemini. Gemini lie sometimes, but it's a choice. It's not an automatic one. Anyway, Mercury and Gemini and Cancer. Not a great combination, right? Gemini kind of finds Cancer too conservative and boring. Cancer is like, you go away, Gemini. We got kids to look after, or something like that, right? You know, been there, done that. You know, you're barking at the back of my head. I'm not even hearing what you're saying. Right? Cancer is much more mature than Gemini. Cancer is like, you're a child, Gemini. I'm not dealing with you. I got mature stuff, adult stuff to do. And Gemini's like, you're so boring, Cancer. You're so conservative. But I mean, you know, they could get along in small doses. If other things work work well, but there's not a lot of attraction there. There's not much going on. All right, Gemini Leo. Now that's really good. That is a great combination because Leo is actually third from the third. So we get that Bhavam principle going around. Leo occupies the third house to Gemini, which is the third sign. So tons of creativity can come from this combination, right? Gemini's the skills of the hands. Some people say Gemini, or the third house rather, is like artistic creation. It's not. It's just skills, right? It gives you skills. The Leo will be the creativity aspect from it with it. But this combination, lively, fun, funny, so positive, right? And even competitive. Leo loves to be the center of attention. Gemini is just so damn interesting. They can also be the center of attention, right? So these two come together. It's just like such a dynamic, creative duo of air and fire, of fun, of creativity, of skills, of passion. Wonderful combination, right? All right. Gemini Virgo square, but Mercury ruled, right? This is my sun and moon. So yeah, there's some tension there. Gemini just wants to have fun, doesn't want any responsibility, wants to just do whatever it wants and be the social butterfly and just, go here, go there, change its mind all over the place, left, right, front, center, all different directions. And then Virgo is like, Gemini, what are you doing? Stop doing that. Get a hold of yourself. Why did you do that? Gemini, get back here. It's like, I mean, this is my internal dialogue all the time. Virgo constantly wants to center Gemini and keep it, in balance and orderly and not doing all the crazy stuff. But at the end of the day, they can be extremely mercurial together, like just thinking and logic, being very logical, and even they can have fun together too if Virgo is not too uptight, because Gemini is so playful sorry, Mercury is so playful and communicative. Mercury is where they really get along. So despite the tension, the square tension, and the perpetual annoyance of Virgo that Virgo has to Gemini's airy, ungrounded, movable nature, they can work. Now Gemini Libra, again, like that's the trinal relationship, air, it's like very airy, right? Unstable, but these two will just talk and talk and talk forever, and it'll be super interesting. And yeah, they understand each other. Neither is very decisive, but they can get along great, right? Gemini Scorpio. Now this one is interesting. I have this combination. It's interesting because Scorpio is the 8th sign. Gemini is 8th from the 8th, right? So if you go, we'll just do quickly, 7th, 8th. So you get what I'm saying. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. The opposition, 8. Gemini dominates over Scorpio, right? Scorpio is submissive to Gemini, and Scorpio does not like that, right? Scorpio does not like being submissive to anyone, but to Gemini, archetypally, it is so, right? And you wouldn't think this. You wouldn't think if you put a Gemini and a Scorpio together that the Gemini will have the dominant nature over Scorpio, the sign of dominance. Scorpio is the default sign of dominance, and Gemini is just like, guess what? Guess what, Scorpio? I got you figured out, because Gemini is very clever. It's very quick-minded, and Gemini, for whatever archetypal reason, it is so that Gemini can psychologize the psychologist. I almost said that wrong. Gemini can psychologize the psychologist. Gemini is the psychologist to the psychologer. I'm just saying psychologer. Is that a word? No. I don't know. Is it psychologist? I'm getting confused. Anyway. Yeah. Gemini, when you put it in the Scorpio chart with Scorpio on the ascendant, Gemini occupies the 8th house. And so that's a clue. That tells you something. And if you want to know like an analogy, Scorpio is like a cave, Gemini is like this curious butterfly. But let's say this butterfly has hands and it's a person. So it's like a butterfly like person in a cave. What's that person going to do? It's going to go through everything. It's going to touch everything. It's going to turn over every rock, and it's going to find that hidden treasure in Scorpio's cave, because that's what Scorpio represents, right? Scorpio is a mine or a cave or a hole in the ground, and there is treasure in there. There's gold, there's oil, there's diamonds, there's steel, there's rubies and emeralds, right? There's silver, there's platinum, right? There's all the precious stuff hidden inside that cave. Gemini's going to find it. Gemini's the detective, especially when it comes to Scorpio. So these two can be a really good combination because of that essential inconjunct nature that belongs to Scorpio. Except this time Scorpio's met his match and has to give it up to Gemini, right? Gemini Sag, great combination, right? These two can be so fun, funny together, intellectual, the high mind and the low mind. All right. I don't know. I don't like to. I'm not going to say Gemini is the low mind. The small mind. No, the mundane mind. The simple mind. Anyway, I don't think it sounds too good. However you put it. But anyway, the big mind, the high mind, and the small mind. Whatever. I don't like calling myself small minded. But Gemini is a bit more sort of mundane than philosophical Sag. But it deals with Gemini deals with logic, right? And Sag deals with philosophy. That's why Mercury does not do so well in Sagittarius, and Jupiter does not do so well in Gemini. But anyway, these two are great polarity, right? As long as they're not mixing energies, they can function individually and harmonize as opposite partnerships. Of course, they can be enemies too. That's possible with the opposition, but mostly the opposition represents attraction. Opposites attract. That's not Saturnian, right? So, get your head out of the stupid gutter. Anyway, all right. Gemini, Capricorn. Now here, Gemini meets this match with Capricorn, and it happens with every sign. Capricorn is in the dominant position over Gemini. So while Gemini's having fun psychologizing Scorpio, this psychologist, Capricorn can do the same with Gemini and just be like, you're not that hot shit. I got you figured out, right? If you want somebody to dominate over a Gemini, get a Scorpio. There's like a Gemini who's just like running around doing crazy shit, saying crazy shit, and you just want to like control them a bit, get them in line. Find a Capricorn. Capricorn will be able to do that with a Gemini, just the energetic nature. Capstellium, get a Capstellium, right? They'll be able to have some superior dominating energy over that crazy Gemini who's just causing trouble all over the place. All right. Gemini, Aquarius. Great combination. This is probably my favorite combination, probably because I'm a Gemini sun, Gemini Venus, but I love Aquarius because it's super interesting, right? Gemini loves Aquarius because Aquarius is that prime number 11 that is like the brilliant inventive machine, right? The way Aquarius's mind works is just so fascinating, and Gemini is like, wow, that is interesting, and then Gemini loves that, right? Gemini loves that interesting, complex, abstract Aquarian thinking, right? So it's endlessly fascinating combination. Aquarius appreciates Gemini's quick wit, right? There's nobody more mentally quick than Gemini, but there's nobody more intellectually inventive than Aquarius, right? So they appreciate each other a lot. Gemini, Pisces, both mutable. They have that square energy together, and there's going to be some conflict here, right? Naturally represented by the square. Pisces is in the dominant position over Gemini, because Pisces is more big-minded, right? So Pisces is going to bring in that Jupiterian quality of philosophy and spirituality or esotericness or compassion or however, or creativity, however you want it to go. right? But these two can be very creative together, because here you get the skills and here you get the creativity. So that's one of the things that they can do together, is be like highly creative, or using the logic of Gemini to, and bringing it to the expansive awareness of and feelings of Pisces, right? So bringing some logic and order to Piscean expansive dreaminess, right? So yeah, they can do good together, right? They're both mutable, so it's neither is going to, is really strong in leadership, but they can really adapt and figure things out together. All right. Aries and Gemini. No, we already did that. We already did it. Let's move on. Cancer and Leo. These are both luminaries. All right. These are both luminaries, so they both have this quality of being shining the light, shining their lights, right? They are semi-sextile, so there's not a tremendous amount of attraction, but there is that similarity of the sort of like male-female archetype. Both luminaries, they can be very creative together, because Cancer, you get the emotionality, the feelings, and Leo, you get the heart. They're both in a similar position, right? Here, like the breasts and then the heart, right? And then Cancer, Leo, you get the big bright heart, open-heartedness and creativity, boldness, leadership. So there's some harmony there, even if there's not tons of attraction. They can get along, right? Next we get Cancer and Virgo. Sextile position, also very good. Cancer, obviously very emotional, motherly, nurturing. Virgo, not so emotional, but will very much understand and appreciate the Cancerian sort of concerns of being a mother, being a caretaker, being nurturing and protective, and Virgo, being very logical and orderly, will just play a very supportive role to Cancer, and they can easily understand each other and get along well. Cancer Libra. Now this is also another interesting combination, because Libra is fourth from the fourth. So now Libra is in the Cancerian position to Cancer, to the Cancer square in the Cancer position. So Cancer is in the dominant square over Libra, and of course they can butt heads, but this one's pretty easy because Cancer is more feminine sign. Libra, although considered masculine, is ruled by Venus, and Venus is the exaltation lord of the moon. So the moon Venus combination, right? There's a harmony there. So they can both be a bit more soft, passive, feminine, caretaking, nurturing. Cancer wants to take care of the vulnerable. Libra is a people person. So there's that harmony there, right? Libra just wants to be around all sorts of relationships. And so they can work well together. Cancer leads the way in that. And Libra is happy to play the supportive role. Cancer, Scorpio, the trine. A lot of water, a lot of feeling, a lot of emotionality, a lot of intensity. You can get themes of psychic qualities, esoteric, occult understanding, psychology, just deep diving, watery. They understand each other. They can probably suss each other out because they both have this protective shell around them, and so they can both sort of understand each other's vulnerabilities and protective nature, and move slowly to open up to each other and be all vulnerable and watery, and feeling coming from their feelings together, right? But they can be powerful in creativity, and any of those watery themes they'll do really well with. All right, then we get to Cancer and Sag. Not exactly a super harmonious combination. Sagittarius is in the submissive, subservient sixth house to Cancer. And so Cancer dominates over Sag, and has the control position. And Sag just has to suck it up and be in a service-oriented position to Capricorn, Cancer, or just not be involved, not get involved with them. But if the two have to come together, Cancer will naturally take the lead and naturally have a psychological superior position to Sagittarius. They'll be able to understand them, psychologize them, get underneath their skin and their head and their thinking, right? See inside their psychology, manipulate them if they need to. Cancer can be quite manipulative with their emotions, right? They use their emotions to do their bidding, and they're very good at it. Cancer Capricorn. Classic mother, father, male, female, oppositional relationship, right? And this one you can say is Saturnian, because Saturn rules Capricorn. But yeah, they can be good marriage partners, good boyfriend, girlfriend, good business partners, good partners, right? There can be some animosity, you know, as always with oppositions. They say opposites attract, but the other part about that is that opposites have less communication. They don't communicate as well. That's why the trine is so dynamic. You're getting opposite enough energy, but also similar enough energy. So there's attraction and communication both, right? There's a lot of attraction with the opposition, but the communication can be stifled or difficult, challenged, because again, I mean, you're talking about two different rulers, Moon, Saturn. They're not exactly on the same page, but again, you know, it's a choice. It can go either way, and it can be a very compatible relationship. Then you get Cancer and Aquarius. Again, we get the inconjunct, not exactly the smoothest, most harmonious relationship, but Aquarius is in the dominant position, right? And Aquarius here can manipulate, control, psychologize Cancer, right? It just has that dominant energy. It has that ability to it's a one-sided relationship, really, when you have the inconjunct. That's another way of understanding the inconjunct, one-sided relationship. Even sometimes it shows up like one-sided obsessions, right? Depending on what planets there are, but like unrequited love, things like that. That can also be one of these inconjunct relationships. One side wants the other, and the other side just doesn't want anything to do with it. Which is which? Well, the dominant side would be the more obsessive side. So the side that has the eighth position, the Scorpio side. So like, yeah, Aquarius might be obsessed with Cancer, but at the same time, they have the ability more the ability to control Cancer and psychologize Cancer, get inside Cancer's head, understand them, manipulate them. Cancer is more just going to be reluctant, submissive, probably more likely to walk away. All right. Cancer, Pisces. Oh my gosh, all the feels and emotionality, and highly creative, right? Highly creative together. There's going to be so much emotionality, so much feelingness, great for psychic anything, right? Esoteric, even astrology is going to benefit from all these water combinations, right? Occult stuff. Yeah, just deep diving into anything like artistic, emotionality, feeling motivated, all of that, dreams. Yeah, all the water themes will be enhanced with you know, Cancer, Pisces combination. Aries, Cancer. No, we already did that. Yeah, Pisces is the last one, of course. All right, they're getting quicker, that's why. All right, Leo, Virgo. Yeah, there's not a lot of attraction there. Not a lot of, I mean, they can understand each other, right? Leo can see Virgo. Virgo's sort of like been there, done that. Leo, had enough of your ego. But you know, they're gonna be annoyed by each other. particularly Virgo, who is annoyed by everyone and everything all the time. That's Virgo's nature. I mean, it occupies the natural sixth house of the zodiac, so it's like permanently in that subservient position. So it's annoyed, right? Rightfully, wrongfully, it's annoyed. Virgo had enough of your shit, Leo. Virgo don't want to hear anymore. Anyway, not a lot of comment, not much going on there. Leo and Libra. A sextile relationship and air fire, generally really good. Right. Generally will work really well together. Leo loves to be seen and heard. Libra loves people. So they, very social combination, very bright, highly capable, talented duo, right? Because the intellect and the heart and the confidence and the people and all that, they'll work really well together. Leo, Scorpio. Wow. Now that's a heavy duty combination. Leo actually takes the lead over Scorpio, but Scorpio's fine with that because Scorpio is a bit more vulnerable and needs to protect itself, right? So Scorpio will take the back seat. Scorpio will plot and strategize, and utilize Leo's confidence to get what it wants, right? Of course, they can butt heads. Leo fights for honor, Scorpio fights for survival, and they're both very quick to protect and defend themselves. Leo for their pride and honor, Scorpio their vulnerability, they're protecting. But yeah, it can be a narcissistic duo, right? If you want a real powerhouse narcissists, Leo Scorpio combinations will do it. But yeah, it can be very effective too, right? Leo is so confident, big, bold, love to show off. Scorpio loves that, right? Scorpio loves that energy. It doesn't have it itself. It's in its 10th house, right? From Scorpio, but it loves to have that energy up front so that it can get what it wants, which is power and control. All right, Leo, Sag. Again, great combination. And this is another one, this fifth from the fifth. One of the greatest combinations. I mean, any of their any of the trinal combinations you could say that about, but fire, right? But it's really dynamic. They have, they're a lot in common. Fixed fire, mutable fire. They're just fire. It's a lot of fire, and they harmonize with each other. Aries needs itself, right? So Aries is the other fire sign. Aries loves itself. Aries is all about itself. Leo and Sag are trinal to each other, and they are of the nature of the trine because they're trine Aries, both of them. So they get along great, really wonderful. They complete each other. They harmonize with each other. Tremendous combination. Now Leo Capricorn, difficult combination. Now Capricorn plays the subservient role to Leo. And why does that make sense, right? I'll tell you why it makes sense. Because both have leadership roles, but in different ways. Leo wants to be seen and heard, wants to have the spotlight on them, wants to be creative and admired and front and center for everyone to see. Capricorn does not want to be front and center. Capricorn wants to rule, wants to lead, or needs to lead. In fact, it is the leader. It's the de facto leader, right? Aries is the self. So Aries also has leadership ability, leadership potential. It's the first, it's the cardinal. But in the natural zodiac, Aries occupies the ascendant, Capricorn occupies the MC. So Capricorn's in the dominant square over Aries. So Capricorn is the real leader of the whole zodiac. Capricorn is captain, as I always say. Scorpio is the boss. Capricorn is captain. So there's the difference. Scorpio is like the personal boss, right? The private boss. But Capricorn is the public leader. But it's subservient because it actually wants to control the shots. And it can do that from the 6th house, like, at the desk, in the office, signing papers, writing stuff up, actually doing the work. while Aries is around showboat, sorry, Leo is around showboating as the leader, actually like pretending. So it's the difference between like royalty and the actual government, right? The government is actually in the sixth house getting shit done, while Leo royalty is up front parading around for everyone to see. They're the front. They're the show leadership. Leo is the leadership of show, right? The leadership of that we're going to put up front and shine the light on. Capricorn's the actual one doing the business, getting shit done. So, you know, in all honesty, Capricorn doesn't mind playing that submissive role to Leo because it's not really submissive. Sixth house appears to be submissive, but it's actually the one doing the work, right? It's actually the one getting shit done, right? So, like, you know, nobody should feel bad about a sixth house position because you're the one who's actually doing the shit, right? You're just not up front. You're not showing it, right? That's somebody else. Anyway, Leo, Aquarius, opposition, great combination, great for all the things that oppositions are great for. Marriage, not yeah, boyfriend, girlfriend, right? Partnership, friends, even general public, business contracts, business partnerships, legal contracts, trade, market, all that combination. These are really good dynamic duo, if you will. Both can have a sort of God complex. Leo is all about the, you know, the self, the grandiosity of the self, of the ego, of the developed ego, whereas Aries is like the initial discovery of the self. Leo is sort of the evolution of that, the sort of the higher octave of the Aries, you know, individuality. It's the blossoming of the self, whereas Aquarius is much more about Aquarius can have a God complex because it's like out of the bounds of Saturn. Even though it's ruled by Saturn, it has that Uranian vibe, and it brings into that society as well as something above and beyond, as represented by Uranus. So there's often a God complex with Aquarius, right? Because of the Uranian ties, Uranian energetic connection, because Uranus, after all, is the grandfather and father's Saturn, right? So Uranus does not feel like it comes underneath Saturn. Uranus feels like it's above Saturn. So it's like there's a God complex that definitely comes along with Aquarius. So they both have these tremendous egos, but they can harmonize. They can get along pretty well. All right. Pisces is in the dominant in conjunct over Leo, right? So Pisces has the ability to psychologize over Leo and dominate it. It will have it'll have that psychological awareness to understand Leo. The other thing that this combination can be really great for, again, though, is creativity, because they both have it in spades, right? Aquarius will have the more original, sort of really unique, deep, authentic creativity. Like Aquarius is probably the most creative sign out of all of them, but Leo really enhances that with a lot of, you know, brightness and heart energy, confidence and expressive warmth that comes from the fixed fire. They can do, it's actually a pretty good combination if they can get over their you know, in conjunct sort of energy. You know, Pisces does have the upper hand here, though, which is really interesting. And Pisces does relate to psychology on its own as well, because it's a water sign. So Pisces will have some ability to manipulate Leo, right? Not some, probably a lot, but it'll be very, I don't know. You might not even know it's happening, because Pisces has that very sort of mutable water energy that is very difficult to put a finger on, right? So you're not, it'll be difficult to say, oh, you're manipulating me. I guess you could see it. You might be able to see it, but yeah, it'll happen. Leo, Aries, again, the trinal nature, We already did that. I don't need to go back to Aries. Let's go. We end at Pisces. I keep forgetting. Virgo Libra. Again, really not a great combination. They just don't want anything to do with each other. They're just bored of each other. Virgo sees Libra and probably is not impressed, has tons of criticisms, indecisive, superficial, people pleaser. And Libra is like, I don't got time for you, Virgo. Just you're annoying. You're hypercritical. I have to go talk to some other people who we're talking to, right? They're just not interested in each other. Sorry, I just keep getting some mucus stuck in my throat. Virgo, Scorpio, powerful duo because they're sextile. They're both feminine and they're both in conjunct from the ascendant, right? And so they have this kind of sharp, edgy, dark quality. You put these two together, they really enhance each other's sharpness, criticalness, ferocity. They're both dangerous signs, in fact. Virgo, I like to think of walking around with two razor blades, or because it's number 6, I like to think of it with two triangles. The 3 and 3 equals 6, two Geminis, but they're sharp Geminis and they're going around slicing and dicing. That's Virgo's nature, is cutting things up, reordering them, throwing out the wasted space and putting it back together, with the two Gemini razor blades. Scorpio, a little bit different, but equally as dangerous, has the very, potent, poisonous tail, if you will, needle, right? Scorpio needles, poisons, venoms. Yes, Scorpio doesn't need that many slices and dices. It's just really about one hit and you're dead. But yeah, they can be dangerous together. They can be very sharp together intellectually, right? Scorpio loves to dig deep. Virgo is very analytical and precision oriented. Yeah, so a very sharp combination of signs with Virgo and Scorpio, right? If you get these together, watch out. Yeah, you don't want to make them as enemies because they're used to enemies. They're used to being enemies. They're both in conjunct from Aries, so they're this kind of like their nature to be a bit more aggressive, to be a bit more fighty, to be a bit more picky and critical, and figuring out what they need to do to sort of get the upper edge. All right. Virgo Sag. It's the square, mutable square. Not a lot in this one might be a bit more difficult because both mutable, both square, but like the rulership, Mercury and Jupiter, it's different from the opposition to say Mercury and Pisces, because this is square. So like really easy to butt heads here, with different ways of different energies. But again, mutability, they can work together if they decide to, and they can produce some really powerful things, some great ideas, right? Both very smart in their own way. Jupiter more big-minded, Virgo very analytical, sharp, right? Practical. So they can work together. They can do some good stuff. Virgo will be the natural leader of the two. Virgo Capricorn, I mean, Earth and Earth, really excellent, practical, grounded, earthy thinking, logical. They'll just get a lot of shit done. There's no nonsense signs. They're just like, okay, we can both work together. Let's just get to work. Let's do this. Let's do what we have to do. No messing around. All right, Virgo Aquarius. Again, we have the inconjunct relationship here. And Aquarius is in the subservient position to Virgo, which is very unusual for Virgo to have that quality. But yes, it is so. And it's really interesting because Virgo and Aquarius, this is 6 from the 6. So this is one of these really dynamic, unique relationships, where Virgo is used to being in the 6th position, but now he meets Aquarius, where Aquarius is in the 6th position from Virgo. So 6 from the 6. There's a highly intellectual combination of signs here. Virgo is going to be more. Virgo's not as creative, as intellectually creative, but you give Virgo an idea, Virgo will make it better, right? And so Aquarius is the intellectual creative sign. It's going to come up with these fascinating number 11 prime ideas, right? It's important to understand the numbers when we're talking about the signs and the houses. So 11 is prime. That's key. That's essential in understanding Aquarian nature. Try and put 11 pieces together and have it make sense, or I realize that's kind of an Aquarian concept. It's kind of abstract in itself, but there's a harmony, there's a balance to number 11, right? A resonance, a certain very high abstract, brilliant kind of resonance with number 11, right? And so Aquarius is going to actually do the work, right, in the 6th house, which Virgo loves, because it's like, wow, for once somebody else doing the work. But Virgo is going to take the lead. It's going to take Aquarius's idea and really make it shine, really make it as good as it can be, right? So this combination can actually do really great intellectual stuff together. Then we get Virgo Pisces. Again, Virgo's annoyed with Pisces, but it loves Pisces at the same time. A lot of attraction there. Pisces will be the creativity. Virgo will be the editing, right? Pisces will come up with the brilliant imagination with all sorts of stuff. Virgo will be like, okay, now let's make some sense out of this. Get rid of this, get rid of that. Keep this. We're going to change this a little bit. Aha, it's perfect now, right? They can work well together, right? They need each other. Balance, harmony. 7th house. Not Saturnian, right? Libran. All right. Aries, Virgo. No, we already did that, right? Aries dominates over Virgo. We know. Okay. Libra. Now we go to Libra, Scorpio. Libra, Scorpio, not a lot of attraction, not a lot of going on there. One really interesting anecdote I could say, which is really obvious, at least to me, probably because the time I was born, but when you track music from the 70s, especially the underground music, you'll see something really unique happening. When Uranus was at the tail end of Libra, you saw this thing in New York where these very sort of Libran feeling bands were getting dark, and it was tied into the drug scene. They were doing heroin, but they were getting very sort of Libran slutty and sleazy, if you will. If you know what I mean. Like Libra has that ruled by Venus. It's considered a masculine sign, but it's ruled by Venus, so it has this feminine quality as well. But where it gets at the tail end of Libra, it can get kind of slutty and sleazy and dirty and trashy. And no disrespect, right? No, I'm not trying to disrespect it. It's just one of the archetypes that happens. Because it's almost like pre-transitioning into Scorpio, right? And so it's getting a little more grit and depth to it and intensity. And then all of a sudden, you get the full transition where Uranus moves into Scorpio and punk rock is born, right? And go watch, if you want to understand this, go watch the first punk rock music video. It's The Damned, New Rose, right? Just go watch it. You'll be blown away. And then just backtrack a year or two to sort of New York sort of music scene, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It wasn't quite there yet. It still had a Libran feeling to it, but you could see that pre-Scorpionic edge coming in. So that's really interesting, that the transition between really balanced, nice, peaceful, judicious, law-abiding, social Libra to powerful, deep Scorpio that is above the law. Libra is here, Scorpio is here. Scorpio is above the law. That's why there's a lot of dirty, criminality, sex, sexuality, other people's money, all the dirty stuff That can really happen in Scorpio. Anyway, they don't get along that well. Libra and Sag sextile each other. Yeah, very harmonious combination. Cardinal air and mutable fire, both masculine or bright signs, air and fire, right? They fuel each other. They're gonna have a great time together. A lot of fun, a lot of adventure, a lot of social. Yes, Sag will be very adventurous. Libra will be down as long as they get to hang out with other people and schmooze, right? And socialize. All right. Also, the intellect will be greatly stimulated by both of these. All right, Libra, Capricorn. Again, the square, and Libra takes the lead role with Capricorn. Let's see. And this one is also another interesting one because this is 10th from the 10th, right? If you go, look, we can go 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, right? And so like the Bhavam concept from Vedic astrology says that you have Capricorn here in the 10th house. Let's just imagine here, this is Capricorn, right? 10th from the 10th is the 7th. So that the 7th house is like a secondary way to look at the career. And often you'll see that somebody can have planets in this 10th house, but if they have planets in the 7th house, which is also angular, they can serve not the same role, but a similar role, right? They can reach the public, whereas the 10th house is very public. The 7th house can also be the public, even the masses, and it can reach large audiences. Sometimes you'll see like celebrities, especially performers who have strong 7th house planets, and they're reaching lots and lots of people. Yeah. Now, why does Libra have the dominant square over Capricorn? Well, I'll tell you why. Because even if you're going to be all Capricornian business, like let's build a multinational corporation to make it public and biggest ever, and you're like the CEO, whatever, you still have to lead with Libra. You have to. Everywhere you go, you got to be like, hey, how you doing? Hey, how's your kid? How's your mom? You got to be Libra. You got to schmooze. You got to talk it up. You're leading with Libra. You got to lead with the handshake, lead with the deal, lead with the negotiations, be pleasant, diplomatic. And if you're not going to have anything. You're not going to get what you want. All right. So Capricorn in this, it leads with Libra. And so these two people, they can get along great, both cardinal. Capricorn actually has to recognize the value of Libra. And not only that, Capricorn sign of Saturn is exalted in Libra. So yeah, Capricorn has to give it up to Libra in this combination. So I mean, it's so interesting how it all works together, the dynamics, right? Now Libra and Aquarius, again, air signs, trine, wonderful, right? Great for everything. They're really gonna mesh together with their airy brains, and they can talk and understand each other. Libra is airy enough to understand Aquarius is crazy ideas that may not be so crazy, maybe brilliant, genius, right? But and Aquarius loves friends, Libra loves people, right? So it works well. Libra Pisces. Yeah, Libra's dominating over Pisces, and Pisces is in the subservient role here. What's interesting about these two is that Venus's domicile lord is exalted, is the exaltation lord of Pisces, right? So they have that in common. So they can be very Venusian together. They both love Venus. They both love the beauty and the creativity, the arts, the femininity, the relationships. So they'll resonate with that. But Libra will have to lead the way. Libra is going to be much more logical. Libra is going to be much more rule bound, right? Where Pisces just doesn't. Pisces is a blob. Pisces is a puddle. Pisces is like pure potential. So Libra needs to lead the way with that one. And yeah, Pisces will play the subservient role. And so we already did Libra and Aries. And we're getting close to the end. Let's go to Scorpio. Scorpio, Sag. Not a great combination for obvious reasons. Yeah. Sag will be too adventurous for Scorpio, right? Scorpio might like some of that, but Scorpio also has to protect itself. Scorpio wants to hide a lot more than Sag wants to. Scorpio does not open up very quickly. Scorpio does not trust people. So Scorpio will likely not trust Sag, will not like trust Sag's ideas or adventurous nature. Sag will be very philosophical and high-minded. Scorpio will be like, yeah, but how does that all work? Right? What's the mechanism behind it? Right? Let's dig deeper, find out what's really going on. So yeah, they can jive together. I mean, it could be like sort of like scientific philosophy or something like that, but it's not an easy combination. And generally they will just not want to do much with each other. Yeah, Sag will be off adventuring and Scorpio just be like, bye, I won't miss you. Right. Scorpio and Capricorn. Now these two can get dark together. Both feminine signs, earth and water, both very heavy, kind of Scorpio heavy with the feeling, and Capricorn heavy with the cold hard um uh building kind of earthy it's brickish nature. Capricorn can just be very dark, right? So they have this quality, dark, tough, gritty, raw. Both are, Capricorn's the natural leader in general, but Scorpio is the boss, right? The heavyweight champ. It is a very dominant sign, loves to control, and yeah, so they can, I mean, definitely resonant, right? Like they can get a lot done together. They can get a lot done in a negative way. Like Capricorn wants money, Scorpio wants control and power, so they can, yeah, I mean, it could get dark with these two. They don't mind being criminal together. That's for sure. But it doesn't have to go that way, of course. But yeah, pretty powerful, strong combination, I'd say. Psychology and capability, right? Leadership. All right. Scorpio and Aquarius. Both fixed signs, both very stubborn, both can butt heads with each other. But again, they can be leaders together because of the fixed quality that they both have. You get water and air. And yeah, there should be some resonance because also Aquarius is the water bearer. And I'll tell you what they do have in common. Scorpio goes deep, Aquarius goes big and wide, right? And expansive, up in the air with its ideologies. They can come up with some great things together, especially intellectually, right? Because they'll both lend themselves to sort of similar things. It could be like psychic or esoteric phenomenon, occult studies, astrology. They both have a lot to do with astrology, right? Science. Yeah, it's actually a harmonious combination, very powerful harmonious combination. If they can work together, they can really complement each other and do great things. Research, yeah, great progress, great intellectual progress can be made with these two. Discoveries, right? Scorpio wants to discover the depths. Aquarius wants to discover the expanse. So, both can be even psychic. Aquarius, people don't realize that Aquarius can be psychic even, right? Scorpio, of course, because of water. So that as well. Scorpio and Pisces, obviously, again, water. So tons of feels, depth, penetrating, qualities, psychic, a lot of psychic energy here. And hidden things, psychology, astrology, occultism. Again, similar to Aquarius, actually, but more harmonious, right? These two can really penetrate the depths of psychology, astrology, the mind, spirituality, esoteric stuff. 8th house, 12th house combination, connection, right? They can, yeah, all sorts of psychic phenomena they'd be really good together with. And yeah, they can read each other's minds probably. Very powerful water connection. Scorpio, we already did Scorpio names. Let's go to Sag. Sag cap. Sag cap. That's it. That's when you wear a cap and it's made out of Sag. Not a great combination because they're semi-sextile, right? Not a lot to do with each other. Sagittarius very philosophical, high-minded. Capricorn very ambitious, leadership oriented, and they can come together, right? You can have a leader they could be like a religious leader duo or a philosophy duo, or like something to do with college, or but otherwise they can get along, but it's just not, it's not a dynamic combination. They'll drift apart very easily. At best they'll tolerate each other, right? Sag Aquarius, that's an interesting combination. I'll tell you why. Because again, we have this very unique dynamic where Sag is 11th from the 11th, Sagittarius. Aquarius is the 11th sign. 12th from the 11th is Capricorn. 11th from the 11th is Sagittarius. So here we have the sextile, both masculine signs, fire and air, and 11th from the 11th. So these two can egg each other on into like the most wild ideas and adventures and crazy thinking possible, right? They can be hilarious together. Aquarius loves to be absurd. Sag is fiery and loves all types of humor and all that stuff. Yeah, Sag will be very sophisticated in their thinking, very elegant, very high-minded, very knowledgeable, philosophical, well-studied. Aquarius will just have that brilliant thinking that can accompany it. And these two can just riff off each other and just do fantastic things, especially as it relates to higher-minded stuff. Very mental combination. Sag and Pisces, both ruled by Jupiter. So whatever difficulties they have, they can make things work, because at the end of the day, they can both line up about Jupiterian things, philosophy, religion, esoteric, travel. They both want to travel and adventure, right? Pisces might like the more exotic destination, but they'll both appreciate the very similar things, right? They're both mutable, so they can, it's the mutable square. Sagittarius is in the dominant position, so Sag will have to lead, and they can butt heads, of course. But again, they're both ruled by Jupiter, which is a great benefic, so they'll generally get along pretty well, right? They can be very creative together, very adventurous together, have lots of fun together. And be like totally esoteric and spiritual, go to they'll appreciate the same things. Sag and Aries, we already did that. Capricorn and Aquarius, both ruled by Saturn. So even though it's semi-sextile and they probably don't want a lot to do with each other, they can harmonize about a lot of similar things, because Capricorn wants to lead society. Aquarius wants to envision society, right? They're both concerned with society. They're both concerned. Capricorn's the leader. Capricorn's the builder. Aquarius is the visionary, the one who wants to design the utopian civilization, or maybe it'll turn out to be dystopian. But they'll definitely mesh with that, but otherwise they're just not, you know, Aquarius is going to be bored with Capricorn, just to be honest, because Aquarius is air and it wants much more mental stimulation. Capricorn's just going to be much more practical. Just be like, let's get shit done, right? So anyway, not a lot, but yeah, the Saturn definitely. Aquarius is going to be more rebellious. Saturn's going to be more by the books. So Aquarius is going to think outside the box. Saturn is going to think in the box. Saturn's going to be the box, right? Sorry, Capricorn. Capricorn's going to be the box. Aquarius is going to want to break out of the box. Anyway, Cap and Pisces. That's the sextile relationship, both feminine. Ideally they'll get along well, right? Capricorn definitely very materialistic, and Pisces not so much so. But they're going to find a way to work it out. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to draw from some anecdotal experience, and I can't think of any. Yeah, these two might have trouble understanding each other, in fact, because they do feel so different, right? One is concerned with building and materialism, the other is concerned with creativity and expansion. But at the same time, they are both feminine signs and sextile each other, so they should find a way to make that work, right? And it could be that Aquarius, or sorry, Pisces will have the creative the creative influence, the creative inspiration, and Capricorn will make it practical and realistic, right? Pisces can also be very physical, and I've seen this more sometimes with athletes. They have a lot of Pisces, and the Capricorn will make it much more physical and practical, and you know, ground it in reality. And so, yeah, so for that reason, they can harmonize. The last one is Aquarius and Pisces, and this is also a unique combination. I'll tell you why, because it's 12th from the 12th, right? Pisces is the natural 12th sign of the zodiac. Aquarius is 12th from Pisces. Aquarius is 12th from the 12th. These are semi-sextile, but they actually have something to do with each other. And that is that they're both excel in the vibrational realm. Pisces naturally deals with the subconscious, dreams, fantasy, delusion, imagination, creativity, exotic foreign places, esoteric, spiritual stuff. Aquarius deals with all that on the mental level, right? Aquarius is dealing with all the abstractions on the mental level. And because of that, it can also be psychic. These can both be psychic. These are both highly esoteric signs. And Aquarius will just understand it in an intellectual, conceptual way better than Pisces. Pisces will be like, oh, all this like feelings and esoteric, and I see ghosts and I hear voices. And Aquarius will be able to like actually like, you know, explain some of that in, you know, logical terms and mathematical. They'll be like, I get all that, but let's bring it back to, take it out of the purely dream world and into the actual physical world, right? The world where the laws of physics apply, right? And let's do something with it. So Aquarius can bridge that gap. Aquarius is the bridge between the invisibility, the invisible world, the esoteric world, and the intellectual real world of science and facts and logic. That's the nature of the Aquarius, right? That's why it's the water bearer, because it's is connecting to the 12th house of the subconscious, but it's still air, right? It's almost it's going into, it's carrying the water. It's like the fog, the still fog, fixed air, still fog, and it's like it's not raining yet, but the water's there. It's just water in the air, in the ether. So there has that bridge to Pisces, Aquarius. So yeah, these two can get along, and they can really mesh with, especially all the woo stuff, the woo combination here. But yeah, that's all of it. guys. That's all the combinations. And I didn't want to go too deep into any one combination because I just wanted to give you the general idea of how to think about them, how two signs are going to get along. And it's not just like, a basket full of qualities and let's pull out these two qualities. How would this quality and this quality mix? And how would this quality and this quality mix? You got to make it orderly. It's probably my Virgo moon, trying to make sense of all this. But anyway, that's the way I do it. And it makes sense and it works. And I hope you found it interesting, and I hope you learned some things from this. And I hope you can apply it to your own chart and other people's charts, your friends' charts, if you want to understand how signs relate to each other. So this was yeah, I think it's useful for that. But anyway, guys, that's the video. Please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't already, book a reading with me, macrogoldmachine@yahoo.com. That's my email. So leave a comment down below, let me know what you think. And that's it for now. The Joe Waxman, the astrologer, formerly known as Mediocre. Yeah, he's okay. All right, signing off. Anyway, guys, laugh it off, take a victory laugh, win before you win, all that good stuff. You know what to do. Have a good one. See ya.